Hi there, come on in. It is Thursday night, October 28th, 2004. I'm Fred Trost, and along with Zachary Trost, we try to bring you the fastest, most comprehensive half hour of outdoor news and information on the outdoors in Michigan. Tonight, Zachary has some startling statistics about car deer crashes. He covers the migration of salmon from Lake Huron to Lake Michigan. Our Hall of Fame county is the home to what National Geographic says is the second most beautiful inland lake in the world. I'm getting a lot of questions of law about recreational trespass. I'll cover that. We'll have a lot more in this half hour of the Practical Sportsman News, so stay tuned.
From the rugged shores and woodlands of the north, it's history of copper mines and iron ore, the Great Lakes fishery. To the farmlands of the southern counties we'll look around, my friend, at all that waits the sportsman in the state of Michigan. And sometimes when the moon brings out the diamonds in the snow, and the stillness of the forest lies encased in Arctic cold, the wind might whisper through the trees, listen if you can. It tells you all the beauty in the state of Michigan.
The salmon have actually been migrating to Lake Michigan. DNR fisheries researcher Jim Johnson said the salmon are leaving because the population of alewives, the small forage fish that salmon eat, is declining. In fact, the DNR has never seen so few alewives in Lake Huron. He said the decline is a result of a big salmon population a few years ago, 2 cold winters, and the many zebra mussels that compete with the alewife for food. Johnson said the DNR tags 10% of all the salmon they release, and at some Lake Michigan ports, half of the tagged fish originally came from Lake Huron. The bad news for Lake Huron is good news for Lake Michigan, where preliminary data indicates that this could be a record year for salmon caught in Lake Michigan. Last week I reported on Bill Parker's front page article on the hunting age bill. That's House Bill 4225 that would allow 12 and 13-year-olds to hunt deer with firearms. That bill got shelved in the Senate committee because the DNR withdrew its support. Here are the key points. Michigan has one of the highest minimum hunting ages in the nation. 12 and 13-year-olds have been able to hunt small game with shotguns or rifles in Michigan for many years, but they couldn't hunt deer, bear, or elk until they were 14. After initially supporting the bill, the DNR changed its position and said they had some concerns about 12-year-olds using rifles. In his Outdoor Observations editorial, Bill Parker says, "Many folks I talk to bring up the same concerns. They envision 12-year-olds stomping through the woods with high-powered rifles. What they fail to realize is that these youngsters must first pass a hunter safety class and must be accompanied by a parent or guardian or someone 17 years of age or older that's designated by a parent or guardian. Accompanied by means the adult must maintain unaided visual and verbal contact with the youth. In other words, the adult must hunt with the youth, which is what this bill is all about. People don't seem to understand that while adults can hunt by themselves, youngsters can't. Hunting is a supervised activity for kids from 12 to 16, and that's really how they learn safety. This bill isn't just about kids, it's about the ability of a parent to take a son or daughter hunting as a family activity. Why the DNR would be against that has many of us scratching.
This time of year, I get calls day in and day out about hunting laws. A common question is from the hunter who's trying to find a place to hunt but says, the landowner won't give me permission because he's afraid of getting sued. Well, here's what I tell them. Go to michigan.gov on the internet, click on Michigan Legislature, and a box will come up where you can type in a section of the Michigan compiled laws. Type in 324.73107 and you'll get the part of the Recreational Trespass Act that says, and I'll just hit the key words, a cause of action shall not arise against the owner, which means that a property owner has immunity against a lawsuit, for an injury to a person who has not paid for the recreational use of the property, which means the property owner let the guy hunt for free, unless the injury was caused by the gross negligence or willful and wanton misconduct of the owner. And that means the property owner can only be sued if he did something on purpose or allowed something to happen intentionally that he knew could hurt the hunter. But if the property owner didn't know about the hazard or caused the injury, no liability. This means that in Michigan, hunters themselves take the risk of injuring themselves when they hunt on somebody else's property. A landowner who lets people hunt for free has broad protection under the statute. But is a landowner liable if he leases his property or charges somebody to hunt? Well, subsection 2 of the statute says a person cannot sue the landowner even if he paid the owner for fishing, trapping, or hunting on that property, unless the person's injuries were caused by an unreasonable risk of harm, and all of the following apply. The owner had to know about the risk. Secondly, despite having that knowledge, he did nothing to fix it, or if he didn't fix it, he didn't even warn the person about the danger. And thirdly, the person who was injured had no clue about the risk. In other words, he fell into it by surprise. The law says that if all 3 of these circumstances exist, there's an unreasonable risk of harm that the landowner could have easily prevented. He could have just told the hunter, don't trust that footbridge over the creek. I don't think it's very safe. That's all the landowner would have had to say to avoid liability. But let's review this so that you understand. If a landowner lets somebody hunt for free, the hunter is on his own to watch out for hazards. If the landowner charges someone to hunt, the landowner either has to fix a dangerous condition that he knows about or warn the hunter about any dangers the landowner knows about that he hasn't fixed. So here in Michigan, landowners are protected by this statute that gives them broad immunity from lawsuits for personal injuries of hunters or people who use their land for recreation. In fact, this statute is better protection than any insurance policy. Print it out from the internet and give it to a landowner who's worried about lawsuits from hunters. Now, speaking about a legal duty to warn somebody about a hazard, a guy called me Monday to tell me that the printing on his deer license and kill tag is smearing and coming off just from carrying it in his wallet, like he's always done. So he put it in a plastic baggie, but he said the print continues to come off. He said his friends are having the same problem and he's worried that by deer season, the tag won't be readable. What should he do? Well, my opinion is if the cause of the disappearing print on the licenses is the ink used to print the licenses by the license dealer, or if the cause was, say, the kind of tags provided by the DNR, then it's not the hunter's fault because they're carrying these licenses like they're supposed to. Now, my opinion is that the DNR is in the same position of a landowner. DNR is responsible for creating the hazard, if that's what happened, and either they have to fix it or warn hunters how to cope with it. I advised the guy who called to go ahead and use the kill tag the best way he can according to the DNR's instructions and let the DNR deal with any consequential problem. I mean, COs have computers that they can use in the field to check whether you bought a kill tag or not. Hunters who have fallen victim to this unreasonable hazard that they didn't cause shouldn't have the scales of justice tip against them on November 15th.
According to National Geographic magazine, Michigan has the second most beautiful lake in the world. Do you know the lake and what county it's in? It's Torch Lake and it's located up here in Atrium County, where it also borders East Grand Traverse Bay. Atrium wasn't the original name of this county. It was renamed in 1843 after the large number of Irish settlers that came here and named it after Antrim County in Northern Ireland. The county was originally named Migrating, which meant eagle, and was the name of a Chippewa Indian chief who lived in the area before the Irish. An early settler named Abram Wadsworth was said to have found a set of elk antlers in the rapids near the mouth of a river, which was named Elk River, and the original county seat was located in the town of Elk Rapids. The county seat was later moved to the more central location of Bel Air. Ernest Hemingway wrote several stories about the summers he spent in the area around Mansalona, a town that holds the White Pine Stampede that draws cross-country skiers from around the world each winter, and the Mansalona Bass Festival, which began in 1956. The world-famous and often photographed Torch Lake is the longest inland lake in Michigan, 18 miles long, and it's the inland lake with the largest volume of water. That's because the average depth of Torch Lake is 200 feet. The Native Americans called the lake Waswaganing, the place of birch bark torches, which they used on this lake to attract fish at night. Fishing isn't done by torchlight much anymore, but Torch Lake and the other lakes and rivers in Atrium County still produce some impressive entries for our Fish and Game Hall of Fame. Next time on the Fish and Game Hall of Fame, we will be featuring Iosco County. Where's Ceresco?
Ceresco is in Calhoun County,
Oh, okay.
right about in the middle of the county.
Okay, so you went from Calhoun County. Andrew Edler went from Calhoun County up to Chippewa County on public land.
Yep.
Calhoun County, big bucks, farm country, private land, everything locked in. You go up to the eastern UP,
Yep.
public land, nothing controlled.
Yeah, I had a little bit of a dilemma. I had a choice between Calhoun County and Chippewa County, so I'm a little bit of a meat hunter, so I hunted in Calhoun County, and the property that I hunt on had a lot of doe, so I shot a doe, got that out of the way, and later, in the week of opening week, I think it was Thursday, I headed up to Chippewa County, and hunted Friday, went out Friday morning and hunted, and about 11 o'clock in the morning I saw a doe, and obviously you can't shoot a doe in Chippewa County, so it's kind of nice to see a deer at least. So went back out that afternoon, and about 3:45 in the afternoon this guy came out.
I mean, there's not many bucks up in Chippewa County
No,
this
as
big.
matter of fact, one of my buddies, after he found out that I'd shot this deer, he called me up on the phone and said, "How does it make you feel to know that you shot the only buck in Chippewa County?"
That's just about it. Hey, that's outstanding though. Andrew, you got the job done during the season? The meat hunting, the trophy hunting, the whole works. Congratulations. Adam Wally from Free Soil got a red horse sucker. Is this the sucker you got right there?
Yes.
Boy, that's a dandy. How big was that?
I don't know.
27 inches.
27 inches. Now, does it matter how big it was?
No.
But it was 7 pounds, 2 ounces on the Paramarquette River. This was in August at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. What were you fishing for? Anything?
For summer salmon?
Summer salmon?
Yep.
Is that right?
Yep.
And your papa.
Yep. Yeah, I was fishing for anything he'd catch.
And what was it like catching this big red horse sucker?
It almost pulled
Hard
him in.
yet fun.
Almost pulled him in the water?
Yep. Yep.
So, what is it about fishing you enjoy?
Tell him that.
I don't know.
Feed some quiet.
Is it something you have to do? Is this like punishment?
you have fun?
Just fish.
Just fish. Well, you know, that's the way you get started. Adam Wally from Free Soil with that big red horse sucker. Congratulations, you got a trophy right off the bat in your fishing career. How old are you?
9.
9 years old. 10, 9, 10, whatever.
Just fish.
Just fish. You know, these hunting and fishing tales we use on the show, for the most part, are suitable for family television audiences, but we do have a few that are a little iffy. Now it's time for the viewer's 2 cents worth. Regarding my commentary on characterizing doves as targets to shoot at rather than as game to eat, Josh Kernick from Chesaning said, "Shooting doves as targets? Who are these people who write this hunter-bashing material and say that hunters who shoot doves are doing it for the fun of killing?" Rich Lajewski from Bay City made no bones about how he feels. "I support your comments about people who shoot game but don't eat them. I have no respect for them at all. On your show, you were rebuked by one of those people who donates them. I'd like to knock out his teeth and donate them." Whoa, that's exactly why I withheld his name. Now, regarding that fishing tale of the guy who caught a big sheep's head on a goby, Mike Zielinski from Gibraltar said, "In Michigan, it is illegal to possess a goby. See page 5 of the fishing guide. Much less use it for bait. Now more idiots will catch gobies in the Detroit River, which is very easy to do, and take them to inland lakes for walleye bait. You should know the regulations or get off the air." Ooh. On a happier note, Bob Owens, an innovative 7th grade math teacher in K-Pac, wrote to me about a recent class project. In order to give students some hands-on work with adding and subtracting fractions and mixed numbers, we're scoring bucks owned by students' families or acquaintances using the Boone and Crockett system. And finally, about the ongoing quality deer management controversy, Carl Milleron from Whitehall wrote, "During the late 1990s, we had 5 experimental DMUs with special restrictions on doe hunting. When the restrictions were lifted, I asked what the results of the experiment were. I got a letter from Rebecca Humphreys in which she told me that the DNR had no results from the experiment because they never figured out how to gather the data. I think Michigan Sportsman can do without any more experiments."
And in between all this, get outdoors whenever you can. It's a great place to be, and we'll see you next week.